All right, so my name is Michael DeLu. Before I get into the video, if you're a fan of the NFL just like me, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and join the Pull Up the Tape community. It only takes a couple seconds, okay? I'm be covering all primetime games, all of the best matchups on Sunday, all primetime games for Sunday night, Thursday night, Monday night, and then the best games on Sunday. I will be reacting to them all season long, okay? With that being said, let's get into the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cleveland Browns on Monday Night Football. So the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Cleveland Browns 26-22. And before I actually get into the game itself, I wanted to get into something that happened. This is the second straight Monday that the game for a moment takes a backseat to a gruesome injury. Okay, last week we had Aaron Rodgers suffering tearing his Achilles, and now this week Nick Chubb tore several ligaments in his knee. I'm pretty sure there's structural damage, whatever the case may be. Minka Fitzpatrick met him in the hole and hit him very low, which caused significant damage to his knee. And the Browns without Nick Chubb are essentially nothing. The Browns without Nick Chubb are essentially nothing. And you can see it in like, you know, honestly, Nick Chubb is one, like, it's not even this isn't a hot take or anything like that. Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the NFL. And they probably win this game if he stays healthy, but that's an if. You know what I mean? He didn't stay healthy, so it is what it is. They ended up losing the game. But, you know, my prayers go out to Nick Chubb. I will say prayer for him tonight before I hit the bed. For a speedy recovery, and then, you know, for you know, peace, not even just peace of mind. Like the road that he's about to travel, as I tore my ACL, MCL, and broke my kneecap before, and the road to recovery was very, very long. Very, very grueling, very, very gruesome, very, very bad. I remember the night I had my surgery and so on and so forth. It is not fun. It is not, it's very hard. Like, you know, Nick Chubb, for a lot of people, are going to be out of sight, out of mind because, you know, we're not going to see him, whatever the case may be, on the field, every whatever the case may be. So we're not going to really hear much about what he's going through and, you know, really, you know, but he's going to go through a lot, and hopefully he bounces back and he's still the same running back that he was prior to entering this game. But with that being said, let me get into the game. So the Pittsburgh Steelers won 26-22, and quite frankly, I am going to talk about. You guys know what I usually do. I talk about the winning team first, and then I talk about the losing team, and I talk about why the winning team won. And the reason why the winning team won is honestly because Pittsburgh's defense was the most dominant unit in all phases of yesterday's game. Like their defense was honestly incredible. The very first play from scrimmage for the Browns offense resulted in a pick six by Alex Highsmith, and he walked that bitch into the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown. The last touchdown that was scored in the game was a strip sack caused by Alex Highsmith that was picked up by none other than J.J. Watt, who marched that bitch into the end zone for a 10-yard touchdown. And with that, and that scoop and score honestly was the result of the game. I mean, the Pittsburgh defense as a whole from start to finish, they had 6 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, and 3 fumble recoveries. They scored 2 and listen to this. They scored 14 points while they scored 2 touchdowns while the offense only scored 1. Did you hear that? They scored 2 touchdowns while the offense only scored 1. So it's honestly clear what unit is really, really responsible for this win. And then the one touchdown that the Pittsburgh Steelers did score, it was a 70-yard, essentially it was like a 15-yard pass that turned into a 56-yard run by George Pickens, who burned the corner. Like it was a great play. But for the majority of the night, Pittsburgh offense was fucking boo-boo, okay? Fucking boo-boo. Fucking boo-boo. I repeat, fucking boo-boo. My team played yesterday, okay? So I know a thing or two about fucking watching a pitiful-ass fucking offense. Like if our defense would have spotted us 14 points, we would have won the fucking game. But we didn't have that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are always going to hang their hat on having a good defense. So let me talk about TJ Watt real quick, because TJ Watt got a sack in yesterday's game, and TJ Watt, with his latest sack, passes James Harrison for the most sacks in Pittsburgh Steelers history. He now is at 81.5, and he did it in 89 games, and he did it 88 games faster than James Harrison did, and it took James Harrison, if I'm not mistaken, 170, what's that? 170. Yeah, it took James Harrison 177 games, and TJ Watt is now the franchise leader for sacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just crazy because he's been in the league for 7 years, one of the two. And it still feels like he could go for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years, honestly, the way that guy has a motor. It doesn't seem like he's all. And then the crazy thing is, too, he missed the majority of last season. Like, he got hurt the very first game of last season against who was it against? Again, I think it was against the Bengals. Let me talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, because the Steelers offense struggled for majority of the game. And honestly, that falls on Kenny fucking Pickett. All right, this falls on Kenny Pickett. As simple as it gets, and simply put, he is ass. Kenny Pickett is ass. And all off season, I had to sit here and listen to how Kenny Pickett was going to make this jump and become this. He's going to take that sophomore jump and become this great quarterback because of the sample size and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then Kenny Pickett this and Kenny Pickett has looked like fucking ass. Last game, he looked like ass. This game, he looked like even more ass. Kenny Pickett looked like a fucking porta potty, a munch, but that shit. The Steelers were bad. The Kenny Pickett was oh my God, he was so and the reason why I want to emphasize how bad he was overall first 2 games is because the offseason talk from all these pundits and these national media conglomerates are covering the Steelers, talking about Kenny Pickett's going to be amazing this season and he's going to take the Steelers offense to the next level. No, I don't want to overreact because it's only been 2 games, but yeah, bro does not look good at all. He hasn't put together one half. He hasn't put together one half of good football this season. So, I don't know. I'm a little, it's not really, it's not, like, and I'm sure Steelers fans will tell you the same thing, but they're going to live with it because they got the fucking W. But you cannot count on your defense to score 2 touchdowns every fucking week. That's not even realistic. Because if the same shit happens next week, the Steelers won't win. Like, if Steelers offense only scores a touchdown, they're not going to win they're not going to win games like that. That's just not realistic. And the thing about Kenny Pickett too is, like, after watching these 2 performances, like, this is not even a hot take. Like, what I'm about to say is not even a hot take. He's easily the worst quarterback in the division. Like, easily. Deshaun Watson is better than him. Lamar Jackson is better than him. And Joe Burrow is definitely better than him. You are not going to win the division or make it to the playoffs by having the worst quarterback in your division. Kenny Pickett needs to get better. The Steelers' offense needs to get better. The Steelers' run game was fucking horrible. That shit was non-existent too. They only were able to muster up 55 yards. That is not Pittsburgh Steelers football in the slightest. That's not even close to Pittsburgh Steelers football or the brand of football they want to play. Their offense needs to get it to fucking together. Kenny Pickett needs to step up and play better. Najee Harris needs to step up and play better. The receivers, George Pickens, he balled. He did his shit. 4 receptions, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Other than that, not really much to talk about for the Steelers. Their offense was C+ at best. C+ at best. Let me get to the Browns. Because this loss falls entirely on the Browns offense. The Browns defense last week held Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to 3 points. The Browns defense this week held Kenny Pickett and the Steelers to 12 points. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers outside of the George Pickens 71-yard touchdown pass, Pickett would have been 14 to 29, for 151 yards. That is great. That's a great job by the fucking defense. And then plus they only let up 55 yards on the ground. The defense, the Browns defense held the Pittsburgh offense to under 250 total yards. That's incredible. Under 250 total yards and only 12 points. Come on, man. Come on. That is not on the Browns defense. This is not on the Browns offense let the entire team down. The Browns offense, I repeat, the Browns offense let the entire team down. Deshaun Watson. I'm going to be honest. What we've seen so far from Deshaun Watson in the 8 games that he's played for the Browns, not been pretty. Last season, he started 6 games. They were up and down, and we seen more of that yesterday. This man, Deshaun Watson, was penalized not once, but twice for a face mask as a quarterback? For real? For real, Deshaun? The thing with Deshaun Watson is he in yesterday's game and just his 8 games as a starting quarterback for Cleveland, there's good and there's bad. The good is good and the bad is bad. Yesterday, he had some really, really good throws to Amari Cooper, extended plays with his legs, got a 2-point conversion, picked up first downs, extended plays, found receivers. His good was good and his bad was bad. His bad was terrible. His bad was an interception. Oh, no. Actually, the interception was a tip pass. His bad were the 3 fumbles. The pocket awareness was fucking terrible. He fumbled one. Oh, my God. He fumbled on a 4th and 2 as they were trying to pick up the first down. No, he didn't. He fumbled twice. He fumbled twice, but the offense turned the ball over 4 times. He fumbled on a 4th and 2, and he's fumbled on a 4th and 2 as they were trying to go march down the field and score, and then he fumbled for the game-winning touchdown for the Steelers. David Njoku fumbled, and then I don't know who he threw the ball to on the first play of the game where the pass was he fucking fumbled bobbled the shit, and the shit was returned for a fucking a touchdown. The Browns offense stunk up the fucking place. They were ass. They were fucking ass. They turned the ball over 4 times. 2 of them go on Deshaun, and 2 of those were Deshaun Watson's fault. The pocket awareness on his fumbles were horrible. The pocket awareness in a lot of situations were terrible. He held on to the ball a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Deshaun Watson probably has the Cleveland Browns fan base pretty split up at this point because he's easily, regardless of how bad he's been, he's easily the best quarterback that the Browns have already had in their history. Easily. No cap. But has he done enough to justify the contract that he was given, the $250 million contract he was given, and the 4 first-round picks that the Cleveland Browns gave up to get him? Absolutely not. And it's important to know something because it was talked about briefly. The last Browns offensive play, Deshaun Watson tried to feed Donovan Peoples-Jones the ball, and Joey Porter Jr. wasn't called for a pass interference, which in my opinion it was. He held on to him. But truthfully, the Pittsburgh defense kept, aside from a 61-yard run by Jerome Ford, the Pittsburgh's defense held the Cleveland offense in check the entire second half. Outside of that one play, they were held in check the entire second half. And I'm not even confident if they would have got that call that they would have went down the field and marched down and scored. Not even confident of that. But with that being said, hey, it is what it is. Deshaun Watson, I'm against that box score, 22 of 40, 235 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Jerome Ford stepped in for and carried the load for Nick Chubb as he went out with the knee injury, 16 carries, 106 yards. Amari Cooper, considering that he was like a game time decision and he hurt his hamstring, He has 7 catches for 90 yards, and yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. I mean, overall, this was actually a really, really good game, competitive game from start to finish, way better than the middle off that they had earlier on Monday night. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up my reaction to this Monday Night Football game. Like I said before, if you're a fan of the NFL, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and join the Pull the Tech community. It only takes a couple seconds, and it helps me long-term in being able to accomplish my goals. With that being said, my name is Michael DeLu. Catch me on the flip side. Subscribe. I am out this bitch.